Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Today, Mikhaila Peterson speaks out against being woke. Let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Up what we were talking about. Did your kind of, I wouldn't say conversion, but switch in beliefs, did you end up losing a lot of friends, or were you able to kind of explain the transition to people?
It's interesting because I had a wide variety of friends at the time, and my conservative friends who were friends with me somehow during my crazy radical period when I was contesting everything they had to say all the time, they stuck around and just cheered me on and were just happy to see that I was evolving and getting more open to things.
Yeah. Wokeness. Lovely thought process. Lovely belief set. By the way, giant tattoo that she probably realized that her woke belief set wasn't helping her to get relationships, and she switched. That would be my guess.
It was my progressive friends who dipped out, and they did so silently, which was the really interesting thing for me. Like, I had been talking to them on a daily basis, and on the side was just posting these social media videos and promoting that and talking about the journey that I was going through, and just slowly but surely they stopped messaging me.
Well, here's the thing. It's just a religion, right? So you're saying that you've converted to a different religion, and now they don't want to be your friend anymore because all you were was religious friends, effectively. Also, yeah, I'm surprised the woke mob hasn't attacked her for abandoning them, but, you know, that's neither here nor there, I guess.
And then I was blocked, and then it was just absolutely no contact with no explanation, which I can only ascribe to them seeing those videos and not being happy with what I had to say, because it was sort of this unspoken reality that we were experiencing where they just wouldn't bring up politics with me anymore. And yeah, it was rough for a little bit there, but then I just recognized, you know, those people are not true friends if they can't stick around when you have a differing viewpoint.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, okay. So then on to...
Oh, yeah. Here is the addendum. The thing I wanted to attach to this is a lot of women aren't really friends. They're just pretending. So they're friends for the sake of eliciting sympathy, right? They're friends for the sake of getting more Instagram followers. They're friends for the sake of, you know, stealing each other's boyfriends. They're friends, but they're not really friends. They're friends of convenience. But the second anything changes, they just drop each other. Oh, she started to date a guy. Bam, she'll drop all her friends. And so on. All that means is that they were never actually friends in the first place.
My list of questions.
Okay.
You have a lot of thoughts on OnlyFans. So
I do.
what are some of the first things that come to mind about OnlyFans?
Okay, here we go. It's gonna get interesting now. Shitting time. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. Share this video. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, and Tom M. Just click more in the link in the description. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. And of course, go to my Patreon and subscribe at patreon.com/theheliosblog. Alright, let's continue.
OnlyFans.
The first thing that comes to mind for me is, you know, if you're a grown woman and that's something that you want to do, by all means. I do not...
Yeah, so first, allow me to preface this by saying I don't judge you regardless of your choices, which, come on. All that is, that sentence, and a lot of women do this, is just virtue signaling. Look at what a good person I am. You can do whatever you want when you're around me, and I won't judge you. Obviously, she'll still judge you. Obviously, she'll be against it. She literally just said that she switched from a woke perspective to conservative perspective. So clearly, she'll judge you. But no. First, I have to tell you what a great person I am that I won't judge you, even though I will. Again, women are so afraid of being expelled from the tribe. So many women. That they'll say stuff like this.
Not want to infringe on people's right to go and do that. Where I took issue with that platform in particular was being on social media and seeing it pushed so hard for young women.
Indeed.
Saying that this is not only is this a career alternative, but this is something that's going to make you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, which...
Yeah, obviously that's not how it works. So basically these girls are becoming ladies of the night and their reward is, you know, $50 a month or something.
Is a lie for the most part. Of course, if you're one of their top creators, that's the money you're going to get. But I was just scrolling through social media, and of course they curate these pages for you based on your demographics and your age and what they think you're going to like or at least be susceptible to. And it was all of these young women saying, you know, if you need a sign to go be on OnlyFans and sell your pictures, yeah, here's my bank account and I make $80,000 a month doing this. And I saw just all these young girls, I'm talking like 13, 14, 15, commenting, well, as soon as I turn 18, this is what I'm gonna do. I can't wait. Like, who needs to go to school? Who needs to pursue a career when you...
Yeah, these girls don't understand that that is not evergreen. You can't just sell your body indefinitely and everything will be fine. No, you can sell your body maximum for, if you're lucky, for 10 years. If you're, you know, the average girl that becomes a lady of the night, it's like 1 year. You'll make a ton of money, spend it all, because, you know, you're not thinking about the future, because the kind of person that becomes a lady of the night is not exactly a long-term thinker. And then what? Well, then that is forever. So you put those pictures online and suddenly now you can't get a career. You can't work basically anywhere serious because that's online for anyone to search. Big problem.
You can just do this as your career. And that, I just think culturally is probably a no-no for our future.
Indeed.
I would imagine it's not gonna look up.
Yeah. I think the issue I've had with that is people play it off as if it's fine, right? They're like, oh,
Yep.
do this for a while, it's fine. Like maybe
Nope.
things change, maybe you drop it later.
Not fine.
But like you do that kind of thing, and you're not going to feel good about yourself, right?
No.
And
It's not only about not feeling good about yourself, because feelings are ephemeral. They shift, right? The problem is not feeling good about yourself, although, of course, many women would frame the argument that way. The problem is you can't take it back. Once a man knows that you're that kind of girl, most men will have a disgust response. Certainly the kind of men that you want to date and marry. Top 20% men that are fit, successful, competitive, the kind of man that other men want to be and other women want to be with. Yeah, those men take one look at your online page and the pictures you're posting on Instagram and OF and so on, and they're done. No more chance for you.
I honestly don't think I believe that there are people, maybe there's the very rare individual that does that and is like, yeah, I'm fine, it's fine. But I don't think that makes people feel good about themselves. And I think saying that it's fine is a lie.
Indeed.
I completely agree with you. I think it's a veneer that they put on. I think money shields that a little bit too. And I was looking into it. And it was like the average income that you make from OnlyFans as somebody just starting out is like $180 a month.
Yeah, that's nothing. So imagine you're selling your body, selling your soul effectively for $200 a month. That's absurd.
So you're getting all of these young women to go like, oh yeah, I'm going to make so much money. Here's my pictures. And you never get to take that back. And
that's right.
You have to think that even the women who are super successful have to be experiencing some form of like psychological trauma, walking around and not knowing who has seen you naked.
Certainly. That's certainly true. And here's the problem. At a certain point, these girls, at a certain point, they don't even, they can't pair bond anymore, right? Now, selling your pictures online, I'm not sure about the distinction between this and bedroom fun, like how that affects a girl, but I'm going to predict that it's not good for you. I'm going to predict that it cheapens you, it cheapens your soul, effectively. And what I'm trying to say is that a girl will not be able to be the same kind of girl that she would have been had she not done this lady of the night stuff, regardless of the medium, right? So if you're taking pictures of yourself, treating yourself as a commodity for any for any man to buy, naturally you're pricing yourself as low value, which, again, what man wants to be with a girl that any man can see for $4.50? That's the point.
Or who has just got to experience your body in a way that is so intimate. And I'm just with you on that one. I think it's a total veneer of people saying this is positive, and I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, and then like you said, they prey on really young people. So at like 17 or 18 or 19 or 20, 21 even, I think. Like I'd say probably anything under 23. That idea of having money, especially when you don't have any. So like if you're in university or something, you're like, I don't have, I have money barely to cover groceries, and that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of girls, they will resort to dancing, being an exotic dancer when they're in university, and they'll do that because they don't have money, not realizing the negative consequences. And the negative consequence is you literally can't get married in the future if you do that. At least not to a man that you actually want to marry. So you ruin your whole life for a few dollars, effectively.
Then it's like, this is easy. Like, I'm already kind of doing it on Instagram, just to go a little bit further, do it on OnlyFans.
Right.
But then, like I said, these advertising agencies that advertise OnlyFans, so basically OnlyFans, offer it as an alternative, and it's not something that's going to make you feel good once you can think more properly, I would say, when you're a bit older.
It is legitimately just a massive, massive trick. And I can understand why young people fall for it. Like when I was in high school, I would always joke about, when I graduate, I'm just going to be a stripper, and that's what's going to pay for my college.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know why that's a joke people have. I had that as well. So did my friends. It'd be so much easier stripping. Yeah.
The reason is because women understand on some subconscious level that their appearance is their primary agency. But it's not only this. It's not just beauty. It's also purity. So if a girl, no man wants to be with a girl that any other man can have. And if you become a lady of the night, then the man knows that any other man can have you, and so he doesn't want you, because then you're not a good bet for paternity. That's the point.
Like, and you think that and but it's not at all. It really isn't, and it's not going to pay off your house. It's not going to pay off your college. Nope. But I could see, like, if you're a young person growing up in this climate right now, and you're looking at like how expensive higher education is, if you are not particularly happy with the minimum wage, if you're looking at how devastatingly difficult it can be to buy a house, how you'd be like, oh, I'll just sell my body for a few years and then we'll forget about that and move on. But you don't move on. That's the thing.
Yeah, you can't. Again, there is no action without consequence, right? So the action of selling your body has the consequence of your life is over as a girl. It's like, it's the equivalent of taking your soul and ripping it out of your body, basically.
Yeah, and you don't forget about it.
No, and I just imagine, like, you do OnlyFans, and then like 15 years later you're sending your kid to school, and the other kids find out that your mom has naked pictures on the internet.
Exactly.
I can only imagine all the horrible ways that it could go wrong.
Indeed.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. There are
so
a lot
many.
of them. Okay. I have to be very careful about some of these questions.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. Okay, let's cover. I haven't actually talked about this on my podcast yet. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. Did you stay up to date on it, and what do you think about the outcomes?
Oh my. I actually did some videos on this. Basically, Amber Heard has BPD, borderline personality disorder, and all the problems that come with that came out in that trial. And turns out, not guilty. What a surprise. I mean, Johnny Depp. What a surprise.
I didn't watch the trial in its entirety, but I did keep up with sort of the ins and outs, who was testifying, what was happening, and just the general pulse of the entire situation. And my view, I'm very happy with the verdict that they got on this of saying that she did defame him.
That's right.
And it's an interesting thing. I wonder if this sort of trial is just something.
Oh, was it sorry guys, perhaps I'm not informed. What I remember is she accused Johnny of something, and he had to defend himself. I swear I remember him being on the stand defending himself, and certainly she defamed him as well. Oh right, so Amber Heard accused Johnny Depp of doing all kinds of bad things, which got him kicked off of many of his filming contracts. But it turns out that not only did he not do those things, but Amber Heard has BPD and he's not guilty of actually doing those things, but he still lost all that money. So again, guys, you have to be really careful about who you associate yourself with, and that's why.
Something that was a car crash that people couldn't look away from, and that's why they're so interested, or if it's actually going to change the culture around some of these conversations. My hope is that this sort of annihilates the believe all women narrative that we've been subjecting ourselves to, because it's just inherently untrue. You can't look at a group of people and because of their gender say that they're meant to be believed.
That's right. Exactly. It's innocent until proven guilty, right? So you can't just accuse somebody of something and because you're a girl, it's believed. No, women can be deceptive just like men.
And yeah, I hope that that's what happens. I think the unfortunate side of this is now that you have a lot of actual female victims of domestic abuse who are not going to be believed in the wake of what she's done. So
Indeed.
There's a lot of different sides to this.
Yeah, it was weird to see something like a trial like that online, although I think it was probably appropriate. I know there were people commenting saying this should have been kind of behind closed doors, but the fact that Johnny Depp's career was actually completely sabotaged, it was like, no, maybe people do deserve to kind of see this, given
Right. The whole point of it was it sets the precedent of you can't just defame somebody and be believed. It needs to be based in reality. Because if believe all women is a thing, then basically you live in a police state where women can just control all your actions effectively.
the fact he was like the star and then disappeared.
Yeah,
So
I had
it was
that
probably
same conversation. Like, is this okay? Is this a reflection
Yeah,
of
it's
a healthy
weird, huh?
society?
Yeah, basically.
But then I thought about it and I was like, well, she's the one who brought this whole story to the press. She made this a worldwide announcement. And it deserves to be reconciled as a worldwide announcement if that's what you came to the table with. So that's the thing that's justified it for me. But I still feel that same creepy feeling about just watching people display all the intimate ins and outs of their relationship.
Well, there you go. Displaying those parts of the relationship is not for women that are in polite company, right? Girls that are the kind of girls that want to be with men of value, they don't do that kind of stuff. They don't they don't air your dirty laundry in front of everybody, right? And Amber did it even worse than that. She aired it out in front of the whole world. She made Johnny look like trash for months to years, right? So imagine, what a bad person does that sort of thing. So guys, as I said, you have to be really careful who you associate with, because you don't know, right?
It is. It's weird. I don't know why that was allowed. I might have to look into that. There must have been a reason that it was actually televised. Because that's. Do you know why it was actually televised?
And I tried looking into it too. Like, did they have to consent to it being televised? And if so, is that another incentive for all of this? And yeah, it's a sticky situation because it's just this mix of just celebrity and fame and salacious stories and all this stuff. And I've been watching Russell Brand a lot lately, and he's been commenting on it and saying, oh, he's fantastic. Like I've been obsessed with him for a while, but even more so now with his views and how he communicates these things. But his view is...
Yeah, stop the cap. The only reason you listen to Russell is because he's famous. He's a high value man.
It's just been the same. Like, this is a really strange thing for us all to be going through, but also brings up discussions that need to be had. So is that the trade-off that we have here?
Yeah, fair enough. Did you get banned on TikTok?
I've been banned so many times on that
Why?
platform.
Because TikTok is a woke platform, right? So if you speak views that are not woke, they'll ban you. Because for some reason, it's important for people to be woke.
Main marker that I get on that platform is hate speech. So if you go and say that men are men and women are women, it's hate speech. If I go and say, well, I'm a black person who doesn't particularly agree with the idea of systemic racism, hate speech, taken down. And I get permanently banned. I think I've been permanently banned 3 or 4 times now. And then they always give me my account back.
Wow. Do you think that's the most left-wing platform out there right now?
Probably.
Honestly, I think so. We could go through and look at everything, but TikTok is truly, I've never seen something more sensitive to saying something outside of the box or that is not widely accepted by that ideology. And I have just never seen more young people so confidently espousing what is really radical ideology. And
Indeed, that is the problem. The problem is that the next generation is being raised to be this woke mob, effectively. And the sad part is they don't even know it.
And millions and millions of likes, hundreds of thousands of comments, and it's just sold to you. It's insane. And that's what's made me start making videos in the beginning. I just hopped on TikTok just to see what it was because everybody was talking about it, and then Trump did that whole CCP thing. So I was like, okay. Let's look at this. And I went on my For You page for what they curated for me. And it was all this stuff about just like racism and sell your body and grooming and sexual empowerment and all this stuff. And I thought, this is insane.
That's crazy. Now imagine if a 14-year-old is seeing that.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Mine was strange at the beginning too. I haven't been on it very much, but I remember at the beginning I was like, whoa, they didn't get me right. If that's like the average consumer, that they didn't get me right at all.
No, but then I'm thinking, okay, well, they know that their platform is widely used by people who are like 13 to 18, and those people are impressionable and might not have direct, distinct opinions yet. And if you see just all these other young people saying the same thing, you're like, oh, well, literally everybody on TikTok says that this is true. So this is what I believe now. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then what? Well, then you get a mass of people with tiny attention span who aren't critically thinking, right? Who just do whatever the woke mob says. You can clearly understand what is actually happening there. And it's horrible. Yeah, that should not be a thing at all.
Crazy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. That's concerning. Okay.
But somehow there isn't a ban, right, on this sort of thing, on the radicalization of young people. There's not a ban if it's radicalized in one direction, right? It's a very interesting thing to think about. Like, is that okay? Is that what we want?
How much sex ed should schools have?
This is something that I struggled with just thinking about. I tried to remember when I started getting sex education in school, and I don't think it was until about 5th grade, and I don't remember how old you are in 5th grade. Same for you?
I think mine was 5th grade too, and I think you're about 11, 10 or 11, I think.
Okay, 10 or 11. And I just remember learning that, you know, if you're gonna have sex, you should use a condom and you should get STD checked and just the very basic, simple, this is how a baby is made, so watch out. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. I think
obviously people need to know how reproduction works and so on. And that does seem to be in the purview of the public education system. That seems logical.
If you approach the subject with just, here's what is objectively true about making this decision in your life, and here are the things that could happen, that's totally fine. I think where we got into like the whole don't say gay bill and all of this stuff is going farther outside the span of neutrality and talking about things like gender and the different sexual experiences you can have. And, you know, I don't want to get too explicit.
Did you get that in school?
No, not at all. There was no discussion of you could possibly feel dysmorphic from whatever body you were born in. Around eating, like eating disorders and things like that, we would talk about that sort of dysmorphia, but nothing in relation to gender. We never got that.
Right. It's, again, there's a time and a place for teaching that. And I think very young ages maybe is not the age. But anyway, let's continue.
We never got like, these are the different sex acts that you could perform with somebody,
right,
which is screenshots that I'm seeing right now from a lot of like elementary school, middle school age kids.
Yikes.
So that's where I sort of draw the line. Just talk about what is objectively true. And I would even say you can talk about the fact that some people choose to do that with the same sex. Totally fine. And here are the things that you need to do if that's your choice. Totally fine. But we don't need to do all that other stuff. Let the parents handle it.
Yeah, let the parents handle it.
I'm inclined to agree as well with that. I'm not sure how much is actually required. This is, again, guys, this is a bit out of my specialty. Okay, we're going to end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all the notifications. Drop me a donation like Tom M, Hunter M, and Adrian R. Just click more in the link in the description. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. And of course, go to my Patreon and subscribe. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I do appreciate it, especially if you listen to the end. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.